Hey there! Have you been feeling listless? The usual remedies leaving you uninspired? Do you ever look around and think that everyone you see is caught up in some bizarre pseudo-reality? If so, mesonoxia may be for you. Pronounced mesonoxia or mesonoxia. Can even go mesinoxia. But whatever your vocal cords are doing is irrelevant to the image in the mind or experience of ingesting it. If you enjoyed Freakonomics, the tipping point, or you just basically find value in examining subtle or largely unknown causes and conditions and the effects of various phenomena, mesonoxia may be for you. If you are a rebel, with or without a cause, hold contrarian, counterculture, or counterintuitive views, you may find much inspiration sitting in your hands. If you like Daniel Quinn's Ishmael, or you find value in sacred texts and holy books but understand everyone to have missed the point of religion entirely, if you don't believe God is an all-or-nothing proposition regarding a man in the clouds who micromanages your life, if you believe the noblest of deeds are those done with no expectation of reward in this life or another, mesonoxia would like to reward you in a new way. If you've ever suffered consequences for sticking it to the man and determined it was worth it, mesonoxia's probably up your alley. If you notice irony in daily life, if you scratch your head at times at synchronistic events and their apparent meaning or lack thereof, mesonoxia's got something for you. If you're an ex-con or have ever been on probation or parole, if you've ever been court-ordered to attend 12-step meetings, if you've given up hard drugs with or without these meetings, and now you drink responsibly but simply didn't drink the bland coffee or the Kool-Aid, there's a new drug for you, my friend. If you have taken an unconventional path to success or are self-taught, if you've ever resented a know-nothing boss with their know-nothing degree, or if you think higher education has a place, but have found that prerequisites and certifications often prevent competent people from holding positions they deserve and make the world far less efficient, if being on the correct, common-sense side of some of the most pressing issues of your time has excluded you from both political parties and you just can't understand how each side has either some or part of the issues that resonate with you, you'll find you aren't alone in mesonoxia. If you think the term libertarian socialism or anarcho-commune capitalism or anarcho-compatulism or something like that sounds like an oxymoron, mesonoxia might change your mind. If you think the media plays with the connotations of words to frame the conversation light years from the truth or relevant division point between opposing ideas, you're invited. If you're a, say, vegan, a plant-based, an animal rights activist, something like that, mesonoxia is most naturally for you. If you have ever dreamt up wildly different solutions to society's problems or would just like to hear some, if you are interested in new business models that are both good for the planet and also more either profitable, sustainable, but really just more efficient, if you understand our current system to be, an ecological Ponzi scheme, if you've ever worked in sales or, are currently in a profession where influence is paramount to success, if you have an attention disorder, or if you simply favor eclectic interest and wisdom over specialization and compartmentalization, if perhaps you have serial obsessions and simply can't understand how everyone else is just so god-darn boring. If you don't think everyone should breed, necessarily, or that we need to continually turn the biomass of the earth into human mass at the expense of everything else, you are welcome in mesonoxia. If you have found a common thread between math and spirituality, or want to know how to bring a mathematic certainty to things which previously seemed subjective or indeterminable, if you want to be an existential choreographer, a chess master in a world of checker players, here is your introduction to a new guild. If the cult of positive thinking drives you to drink, if you want to know what a 30 mesogram direct injection of non-duality feels like, if you want 5 concepts that will, that's really one concept, but We'll elaborate. That will bring you to enlightenment, omniscience, and the unification of everything that can possibly be known. You're in the right spot today, Charlie. If your writing or reasoning doesn't fit into the prescribed box, you find the rules stifling and are curious about a new way to make a point, you may find Mesonoxia instructive. If you want to see how fiction, nonfiction, poetry, prose, memoir, and self-help, history, can all collide and yet blend seamlessly into one text, and how everything listed above can be explored through an identical lens, Mesonoxia is the one book you need to read this year. If you want to open your mind to a new reality or way of thinking, if you think meditation is, at times useful, but somewhat overrated, if you understand or would like to that working on your ego is not a path to enlightenment, but a side effect of enlightenment, Mesonoxia might just save you 30 years of thinking you're doing something while you're doing nothing. If you are looking for meaning in the midst of a meaningless world, or see the utter irrelevance in places where others seem to find meaning, if you are the only one you know who doesn't throw the baby out with the bathwater, put the cart before the horse, or seem to understand the difference between a cliche and a parable, as well as correlation and cause and effect, Mesonoxia might just become your Bible. However, if you routinely accept the explanations of your government, educators, media, corporations, employers, clergy, doctors, therapists, Mesonoxia may just screw up your whole day. If you are incapable of holding ambivalent, ambiguous, androgynous, ambidextrous, and or paradoxical concepts in the mind at once, Mesonoxia just might cause your brain to explode all over the ceiling. If you are easily offended, the midnight train is not the place for you. Let's slow down. A few of you out there might remember me as a guy who always had what you needed back in the day. The potent, raw, pure, illicit substance. The banging. It may have come in some rudimentary packaging back then, I know. But one taste and you knew, right? This shit here, this is the truth. Genuine, authentic, uncut, direct from the source. Well, we've all grown up a little, I have some gray coming in. While we've been ripening a bit, the things we need have changed, but, some things do remain the same. We may have made the switch from the club to the work world, the sports car, the minivan, but we're all still looking for some pain relief or a little ecstasy. It still all boils down to attractions and aversions. For what you'd be searching for these days, however, reliable sources are even harder to come by. There's a lot of stepped-on product out there, be it in medicine, information, solutions, philosophy, word or flesh. But these days, instead of a temporary diversion from the 40-hour work week, you might now seek a true liberator from the 60 to 80-hour, or perhaps just incessant enslavement. Listen, before you go back out there on the grand stage, I have a little something you need to try. I know it's been a minute since you allowed me to put you up on something new, but oh boy, I've stumbled upon this stuff I think will help. It's an old recipe for a suffer reduxer with omni-intensifier. I doubt you've heard of it. The rumor is it was actually designed as a performance-enhancing drug for Messiah Idol contestants. It can be used for anything, whether business, pleasure. They now also use it on Enlightenment Idol as well. It's the same active ingredient, just packaged a bit differently, like ibuprofen sold separately for migraine or arthritis. Introducing the Auto-Existential Choreographizer, Eclectic Skill and Wisdom Enhancer, Spectral Insight Intensifier, Indivisible Word Etymologizer. Heck, it has endless uses. Each time I administer it to someone, seems like we end up adding to the applications on the label. When you ingest it and it acclimates, it's like experiencing omniscience as it saturates the complete fiber of your being. Unfortunately, at this time you won't find it on the shelves. It is only available by underground bootleg prescription. So be careful, They don't want the masses injecting the mezzin elixir because, let's face it, you can rob banks with this stuff. Yeah, they want to keep a little eye on you, you know what I mean? I, however, don't believe you will want to use it in that manner once you taste it, as you can make money legally. Why, you can do anything. You'll be better at everything. Big claims on the wrapper, I do understand. You see, it's like this stuff that acts like a muse that Leonardo da Vinci, F. Scott Fitzgerald, Woody Allen, Zeno Avelia, Rod Serling, Parmenides, Jesus Christ, Slick Rick, Lao Tzu, Prince, Buddha, Socrates, Ram Dass, Larry David, Lewis Carroll, Albert Einstein, Neem Karoli Baba, William Shakespeare, the author of Genesis, Ecclesiastes, Isaiah, just to name a few, have all dabbled with. Some more than others, so you may not have known it, but they were all drinking from the same bottle, and then hitting us off with traces, vapors of this mesonoxia. Be sure to read what is written below, both before and after your journey. A journey that lets you in on something that's not all bad news. Not all such a federal case. Let me worry about the authorities. You just enjoy yourself, like old times. You got the hook up now, sport, as you have your hands on the raw. This shit ain't been stepped on. Not to worry, it isn't going to turn you into a religious fanatic. You won't become addicted, per se. Your in-laws won't be calling you a hippie or a new age fruitcake. You're not going to picket the PTA. But it is, of course, direct from the source, it mesonoxia. Off your horse. Look, like right here on the label. A surgeon's general warning. One hit, and it's Hotel California, brother, because you ain't coming home. But the good news is, pretty much everyone who tries it, says, wow, that's just the shit I've been knowing. But somehow, the thing I was needing that makes it all now so, how to describe it? Let's say, reverently irrelevant. I'm going to share it with you in a potent, poignant, super concentrated. It's made of 5 basic ingredients. It's 5 keys to enlightenment, but it's not what you're thinking. Relax, I'm telling you. You haven't tried this. It's not just Eastern or Western. It's 5 fingers in the grip of omniscience, but it's not trivia. It's not knowing the lottery numbers. It's 5 quick steps to the kingdom. It's like a lance through the heart. It's at first, when you hit this little mezzanine moon rock, quite disturbing. But then, astonishing. And finally, it reigns over everything. And it's precisely all bang. No base, no fluff, no filler, no cook-up. As if it's the hard knock and it's open all night, but it's been locked up like Fort Knox. It's noxious. It's obnoxious, rude at times. It makes you and me so noxious, but it's good for you and me, son. Oxious, it's mesonoxious, like mesonoxian, as in of or related to midnight, like a midnight train of thought. See, the point can't be translated. It's immediately lost. As soon as you have it, it's already one step removed. This stuff ain't new, but what you knew is improved with midnight mental moonshine. See it like 12 o'clock, both yesterday and tomorrow. And the merging of the 1 with the 2 that can't be pinpointed. It's always now, but it's moving. It's 450 BC, 33 CE, 2012 AD, 2160. But see, it's relevant. It's forever and so forth. So for thee, end of the 12th year of the 21st century or the beginning of the 21st year, again, it's irrelevant. Let's wake up. It's 12 o'clock, and it's once again, just in case the world should end. Well, just in time. It's just in. Koskar Rabbi Menachem Mendel, the 20th century Kabbalist, used to cook it up. It's inadvertently mystical, but it's not like the Buddha and Jesus. Its discovery is 32, 33, 4, When it arrives, it's just a coincidence, as it makes no claims, no authors, ship it across continents and centuries. It encompasses all of our history. It's in this here tiny bottle, and it should make sense to everyone, and it should offend no one. Like Leonardo da Vinci, it shares in the purpose of unifying all knowledge to the expression of truth and beauty, but Yeah, the 2021 medicine show, existential medicine show, may upset many with the teaching as it's 100% plant-based, it's cruelty-free, preaching fundamental unity with a capital F-U, and F what you thought, it's what Jesus would do. And it's a lot like the Wizard of Oz. You were all there, and you were there, and you were there, and even you too, who could forget you? It's in a place where everyone's cool, so what? Muhammad was the last prophet, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I, for one, I started working non-profit. Non-profits represent the absence of a thing, and he was right. It's not it's the thing, not the delivery method. And the idol winner isn't the show, so no further explanation was necessary. But some are a tad slow, so a Messiah idol is needed with the right pitch to awaken and unify an unconscious world which certainly could look exactly like this, and just in case he comes back, or for the first time, or the last, or the best one ever, it's all irrelevant if no one is watching the show. Look, it's not a noun. It's not a thing at all. It's a verb. Still, it's the only thing, and we're its integrity and or vice versa because it's mesonoxia. It's obvious. It's undebatable. Indisputable. It's my Father's kingdom, and it doesn't enforce its laws. It's just a golden reward, what you'd call a just cause. And it's all around you. You're swimming in it. It's in you. It's blending into itself. You can't help it. It's blending into each other at undetectable levels in every location. The indivisibly radiant gradient variation, a spectrum. And you and I are infinitely divisible pixels, right at the precipice, right about to merge. It's reductio ad and all so absurd. It is obtainable and it's not. The Emperor's New Clothes, and it is. Between thought and mass, physics, objects, between word and flesh, particle and wave, being and nothingness, meaning and irrelevance, yin and yang, male, female, believer and atheist, proton, electron, quark and antiquark, nirvana, samsara, it's the middle way, it's the Mona Lisa, it's dichotomously ironic, a mystic paradox, it's a catch-22, and it's mesonox, ops, and it's irreverently relevant. It's the first and the last chapter. It's forever. It's clever. Rejoice. It's a choice, but it's not the one you thought, and yet it still isn't. It's not just all at the same time. The poignant, pointed, precise irrelevance of the distinction. That's only concerned with what we've learned we can all agree on, and agree that what we all agree on makes the distinctions which divide us become irrelevant. Like, if Sir Isaac Newton's apple fell off the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in the Garden of Eden and no one was there to hear it, would it have made a sound? And is it irrelevant? But if the apple fell and everyone was listening, but some were insisting and real loud and real proud and no one heard shit, is it irrelevant? But what if? No apple, no tree, nothing fell, nothing there. There was no fall, no thing at all, but everyone heard shit, everyone saw and understood. Anyway, whether or not the world didn't end 2012 or your world begins 12,002, you and I, there will always be these multiple choice versions of true or false Messiah idols, prescriptions and saviors. I, for one, have texted in votes for every contestant, and I'm not really thinking I can win. I mean, I'm just some schmuck. I'm down on thy luck. They probably won't even let me in, and I'm just trying to get ready. I'm nobody special. I'm just a fan, man. But as a spectator, a witness, an objective observer, an unbiased reporter, I'm looking around anxiously every second, millisecond, still waiting on the edge of my come right out of the air. I may appear later to have forgotten about the job description. It might seem clear we've entered strange terrain. You might think idle contestants aren't supposed to cause friction. You might think jumping off topic or off key gets you banned from the train. But I have been here now quite a while. Acting, you may say. Something like this. Asshole, that's not in the file, but please check your facts before and or reading these riot acts. Like a duck, but there's a lot of quacks. Like a duck. Who say, with or Without a promised reward, no one tries and or gives a fuck. Can I please complete an unambiguous, non-run-on sentence me to a lifetime of every second, millisecond? It's the incessant, moving, eclectic, a conversion of tension that's not in compliance, just the inversion of ADD or attention distribution defiance. And it's just my bid with the cards dealt to me. It was 2012. I'll be 33. Period of time that I had tried out to sea and or guide the sail of mesonoxia, and B, cause of truth, gazing upon and recognizing that in the mirror, it's like, man, a sight that can never be unheard or a sound that can never be unseen, and people are still crying and dying 9 years later, every second, millisecond, for the show, the book that they'll never, ever unread. And I have heard you might have to read it twice to see you tend to miss the point. It's not the first time nor the last, but right in the middle. I just know that if asked, I could show you the one that was it, that could explain this one shit that they all somehow missed. It might not fit what they call omniscient, nor will we find the Emperor's new version of bogus enlightenment, but just that perhaps all along the requirement was simply this insight called mesonotion. But why ask? Why? If it's also relative, why isn't it irrelevant? I probably shouldn't have gone there, I know, as I don't spell things out like the others because I am certain, sure, confident I couldn't respond. Why, any answer I give would be misleading. The witness's question assumes both he and I both know what all these quote-unquote things mean, but right now, there's in fact only one of us. But try to stick around, and you'll find it's a verb, so we can't sit still. We anticipate. I always want what's next. I want the foresight. Want the book. I'll get the course. I can't wait to see the man and shake his hand and hear him speak and watch the show. I'll just be a contestant yet, and still I still know. I'll certainly be still yet still dying to go and see the act that one by one sends every star and potential sun the fuck home on Messiah Idol. You know you can't win the real and true glory, but just in case, fuck it, it's all in the story, which is sure to make some real angry and screaming, though I know, we all know, we're all really just dreaming, and after all, there's no thing that I have seen is for everyone, be it the Pope or Christopher Hitchens. It's calling out anyone, damn it, it's just certainly itching and dying to show any saint, cynic, pimp, or any hoe who claims to be so dead certain about what this whole thingamajig is bound to be disturbed and yet astonished before it rains down confetti at the finale. It always tends to make that last second rally. It is the reason why, with every second or third each pixel lasts when first I die into each nano, millo, macro, micro, meso, minute, we second try and find the supply for the good seeds we're sowing, not yearning, just knowing, flowing, finding, mining, and growing our act together, where when fucking A-Day bring or fucking A-Day are brought, those fucking A-game things or fucking A-game thoughts, they're all sent the fuck packing. Sent home by the internal attention gatekeeper, the middleman, meeting them halfway from the spot. The adult in the room, should they like it or not, coming for a little visit on Father's Day. The year after all the hoopla dies down, he's none too happy to see what you've done with the place. The alpha OMG mega big all bang space that is known to be always around, just out or inside your black box. You give her 12 rounds and she'll always out fox you with every strike. It's always 12 o'clocks you upside your head and down to your socks you right in the heart when you think you're ahead of the thing as it twists and flips and it shocks you. Left right till the end, it ironically mocks you, but, some still think a poet should rhyme. Present a few things just for sake of old time. So around here, in the truth that's representing this noxious mess, I know won't be passing knockoffs or authenticity tests to the competition in the masses who will still be dying every second to find and follow this year's false idol contestants, while blindly farming fiends for the poison to best. Spike in the mixer is an elixir that's no con, just high test. Still dying to find the act that has it down a bit more precisely, and yet figured so much further than this five-fingered quintet, with the grip on that set of keys that unlocks you. You may move and choose and move your own life product and or sequel to. Just around my flocks, you best not try moving anything stepped on less than or equal to the unified, controlling, naturally random unfolding of all bang and truth. No doubt your boy will be holding when every shop is out of stock amidst this massive group psychosis. When you hear, bro, the cops locked down the block, you can trust they found no mez. Oh, no sis. Sorry, that one just you can't do any better. You can rest assured we'll still be moving. And oh Lord, it's going nowhere, forever or ever for any more. When every pixel of Cain has been disabled, the mezzanoperatives got you. And you can bet there'll be no sending them home with anything more or less than mezzin or mezzo.